Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to do something that might just completely change how you look at your own mind. We are going to permanently decouple self-esteem from self-confidence. We use these words interchangeably all the time, right? But they are absolutely not the same thing. By the end of our time together, you're going to know exactly how to stop feeling like an imposter and start building real, unshakable self-worth. So let's get into it. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the house, car, and driver analogy. Then we'll look at the expectations trap, figure out how we build self-esteem, and finally, wrap up with 4 tools for growth. All right, part 1, house, car, and driver. Let's define the mental engines. Picture a house and a car. There's a hard line between the invisible foundation of who we are and the visible steering wheel of what we do. Self-esteem? That's the invisible foundation of your house. Nobody on the outside can actually see it, but it represents your self-love and your core belief that you actually deserve happiness. If that foundation is cracked, even the most gorgeous house is going to crumble eventually. On the flip side, self-confidence is highly visible. It's the steering wheel of your car. It represents how much you trust your broader skills, your knowledge, and your ability to basically steer through whatever challenges life throws at you. And to complete this trio, we've got the driver. This is what psychologists call self-efficacy. It's your specific ability for specific moments, and honestly, it's the most flexible trait of the bunch. It's simply your belief that you can pull off a highly targeted task, like, say, parallel parking on a super busy street or delivering a killer 5-minute presentation at work. When we map it all out, you can really see how these 3 concepts operate across totally different timelines in our lives. Self-esteem acts as this deeply rooted, highly stable part of your identity, and it's focused right now, in the present. Self-confidence, well, that looks forward, trusting you can handle broad future events, and it can kind of bump up or down based on your recent wins or losses. Meanwhile, self-efficacy is highly flexible. It's laser-focused on specific future tasks, and it changes rapidly with just a little bit of practice. Moving on to part 2, the expectations trap. This is what happens when confidence and esteem mismatch. Why do highly successful people so often feel like unlovable frauds? Have you ever wondered about that? Well, because confidence is so visible to the world, but esteem is utterly invisible, they don't always match up. And that mismatch leads straight into the incredibly painful trap of having high confidence but low self-esteem. Let me give you an example. You could be a charismatic executive who delivers a flawless presentation to thousands of people. That's massive self-confidence. But the second you go home, you might hear this nagging voice telling you you're a total fraud who doesn't deserve to be happy. You end up grinding 80 hours a week just trying to earn your worth, completely burning out in the process. Or, actually, let's flip it around. You could have great self-esteem, but zero confidence in a specific area. Think of a confident pro athlete who feels absolutely paralyzed by shyness at a casual dinner party. This crucial point is captured beautifully in a formula from way back in 1890 by William James, the father of American psychology. He proposed that self-esteem equals your success divided by your expectations. Think about that. If your expectations for yourself are absolute perfection, sky high, then even a 95% success rate is going to make your internal foundation feel like a complete failure. So, to boost your self-esteem, you either need to increase your successes or, more likely, adjust those expectations so they're actually realistic and fair. This brings us to a massive psychological distinction. When our self-worth is contingent on external validation, getting praise, looking perfect, racking up likes on social media, we end up living in a state of high anxiety. It's this fragile roller coaster where we're constantly trying to prove ourselves. But secure self-esteem? That is internally grounded. It comes from living out your core values, like honesty or kindness. With secure self-esteem, your worth is a constant. That means you can screw up, you can make mistakes, without your entire identity crashing down around you. Section 3, how we build self-esteem. Let's look at the actual architecture of self-worth. If we trace this timeline, you can see how our self-esteem is constructed brick by brick across 3 major life phases. From birth to age 12, the parental mirror builds about half of your foundation. Warm, unconditional love teaches a kid they are inherently worthy. From 13 to 18, that mirror shifts to your peers. Acceptance or rejection during those tough teenage years builds another 30%. Finally, from 19 to 25, we look for the world's verdict, usually from bosses and mentors, to build that final 20%. I want you to really think about this number, 25. By age 25, your self-esteem house is mostly built, and it is highly resistant to quick changes, which is exactly why landing a high-paying job or getting a flashy promotion at age 30 won't magically heal a cracked childhood foundation. It just doesn't work that way. Healing that foundation requires actively working on your internal thoughts. Which brings us to section 4 tools for growth. These are practical habits for lasting change. Tool number 1 is stopping the blame game through cognitive behavioral therapy, thought reframing. When things go sideways, people with low self-esteem tend to make what's called an attribution error. They blame themselves internally, permanently, and globally. But look at how we can shift that. Instead of thinking, I'm lazy and I always mess up when you're late for a meeting, you reframe it to external, temporary factors. Traffic was really bad today. This is just a temporary delay. It literally stops that downward shame spiral instantly. Tool 2 is psychologist Albert Bandura's Courage Ladder. This brilliantly illustrates that you absolutely cannot think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it through micro successes. You take a goal that scares you, like speaking up at work, and break it down into tiny, manageable steps. Start small at step 1, maybe a one-on-one. Once your brain realizes, hey, I survived that, you climb to step 2, proving your capability to yourself bit by bit. Tool 3 relies on Nathaniel Branden's 2-minute morning sentences. First thing in the morning, grab a pen and rapidly write 6 to 10 endings to a specific sentence stem without overthinking it. Seriously, go fast. By working quickly, you bypass your brain's natural defenses to uncover what's really holding your self-acceptance back. Then, during your weekend review, you take those insights and turn them into actionable help for yourself. Tool 4 empowers you to stop being a people pleaser by standing your ground respectfully. Low self-esteem makes it so incredibly hard to say no, but you can use techniques like I statements to focus on your feelings rather than attacking someone. You can use the broken record technique, calmly and firmly repeating your boundary without making excuses to a pushy person. Or my personal favorite, fogging, where you actually agree with the truth in someone's criticism, but firmly maintain your no anyway. Ultimately, lasting change is a 2-step dance. Step 1 is where you actively reparent your inner critic to heal the invisible foundation of your house, grounding your worth purely in your core values. And step 2 is where you climb those courage ladders and take action in the real world to finally grab the steering wheel of your confidence. I'll leave you with this final thought for our explainer today. Because your worth as a human being is a constant, what would happen if you stopped pouring all your energy into trying to prove your value to the outside world and just accepted it? Seriously, imagine the incredible, resilient life you could build on a truly secure foundation. Thanks for learning with us.